I go on my drillers and killers and spiritual blood spillers. When you hear me talk about them mad thing, I'm talking about spiritual. Don't get confused. I'm a confusing person because I embody everything. I allow all to live in me. The light, the dark, the hop, the down, life, death, the grave. It was a youth that did always misbehave, but at the same time was good. People misjudge me all the time. I believe in kindness for weakness and try and abuse that, or think I'm evil. So we don't need to start letting me know what I want as well. Anyway, I'm gonna just do what I want to do anyway, but I'm going through a very funny journey in this world because I observe everything, and it's like I put a message out there. Yeah? I've been putting out messages since before COVID came in, because I got this urge. A download came to me. Certain people, I was with the mother of my kids at the time, and a couple of people that I contacted, I told them about it. So this is that they know. People who's close to me know. They act like they don't. This is the funny thing about my life. Anyway, I got a download to stop doing certain things. I'd already stopped doing certain things. From 2016, I was on a journey. And I stopped doing a lot of shit that I was doing. But it takes a while when you've been living a lifetime of shit. And I never lived with restraints, you know what I'm saying? Always free from a child. So, for me it's funny because I've been putting out this message for a while, and I see people, enough people here, who've seen my messages, and they all pretend that they haven't seen it. Even when my kids got taken, I went down to a little event, like not even an event, but I went somewhere a little while back, not too long ago, and I seen a whole bunch of people, and they acted like they didn't know that my kids were taken. And I put it all over the internet. It was all over the news. It was all over Facebook. The mother of my kids put up her version of the story and all them things. I don't really want to get into it too much because I've left them things there behind, but I'm just trying to break something down. I live in a very strange reality where everybody just bees fake to me. Everyone. The people that I have known, grown up with, everybody bees fake with me. But it's cool because all it does, it just makes me stay in my truth. So keep on doing it. It's down to you lot why I'm in this truth, because of how you lot be so false with me. And even people who don't know me is like falling into it as well. So it's an energy, it's something to do with my energy that makes you lot react to me in that way. Like, people will be watching me and they won't want anybody to know that they're watching me. And keep it all to themselves. Then they'll see me and pretend that they haven't seen anything. But they quote things to me, and I'm like, that's from my video. Shit like that. I guess not everyone, but majority, or people always have an ulterior motive, even if they come and speak to me or they message me, there's a motive behind it. So if I come out to them energy now, dog, one ball doing it. But yeah, going back to the knowing, I don't want you to get confused, because the knowing is something, when you know, you know. I know things, but the point I'm trying to make is I don't know how I know things, and I don't need to know how, because that's how the creator of all works. All you have to do is have humility in your heart. The main thing is to be humble, to never lose the humility, to always make sure you check in and make sure you're on the right path. You never get high and mighty and think, yeah, I'm at that place. I don't need to check in no more. I don't need to ask the Father no more. I can't learn. I can learn from anyone. I can learn from people who don't know about this wisdom that I know. Learn different things from them. Or learn. I learn all the time. I'm always open to learn. I don't close myself off to learning. But I know when someone's chatting shit as well. And you can't get me to sway to your mind. If you're trying to give me something that's from your mind, you can never get me to sway to it. Throughout the years, people have always tried to do that. And that's why I think people get frustrated with me, because they know deep down they can't get me to do that. And I don't even have to be rude about it. I could just not be influenced. I've always been like that. Even when I was on the streets, on the roads, yeah, I done shit, and there was a bit of course, we get influenced a little bit, but it was never to my detriment. You know, I always kept my pureness, my truth. If I seen something going down and I'm like, yo, this ain't for me, I'm gone, blood. I wouldn't even say nothing to no one. Just turn around, I'm gone. You see what I'm saying? I always stay true to myself in that sense. Yeah, sometimes I fail and you end up saying something and you're thinking after, why did I just say that? Why the fuck did I just act like that? Like showing off a little bit or whatever. We all do that shit. Say things for the moment because there's people there. One time I was showing off, jumping on a pen, and I got lick off the pen. This is what happens to me if I go too far in that bullshit. But I get a lesson right there. And I can't even blame no one because I know what I was doing. I always know. Because I'm humble in that way. So when I'm saying the knowing, we're still going into an age of knowing. Okay, we're going into the age of Aquarius, coming out of the age of Pisces, which was belief systems, into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of knowing. We have to know. But in order for you to step into that knowing, you have to step out of belief systems, which was the age of the Pisces. Because that's from the mind. You have to just know. And you have to just know that, raw, my soul's guiding me to do this. I don't know why, but I know it's right. Do you get what I'm saying? The great and terrible day. That's what I mean. I feel like I need to touch on more on this because it's very important. This is the key. This is the key for you to get out of this shit. For all of us. But you know things, but you don't know how you know. But you know it's true. You know it's right. You know it's from the father and mother. So you go with it. Even though your mind might not believe it's right. But something deeper knows it's right. That's how I can decipher all these things for you, though. Because I know I have a humility inside of me that makes me know things that you lot might get caught up in here. I won't. Because I don't really care what people think. I won't follow it because everyone else is doing it. I don't follow the new slang words because everyone else is using it. I didn't go into Islam to start using all them words that they use. Astaghfirullah, Inshallah, Bismillah, how was it? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I used to be able to actually speak Arabic. When I practiced it, I could do the Al-Fatiha. I could pray a few prayers in Arabic. But I realized that a lot of brothers, like when they were converting to it, they were just converting to it, and then the next day all of a sudden they're using these words, and I'm like, bro, that's just like when a new slang word comes out, you're just using it. This is not the reason why I got into this. I got into this for truth, for liberation. And as I traveled through all these other belief systems, what I realized is that they're all the same. They all think they're right and everyone else is wrong. They all put down the others. That's not the truth to me. That don't feel comfortable to me when I'm sitting around a bunch of brothers and they're just dissing other people who's not in this belief system. I don't like that. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel right to me. It's not godly. And you don't know that deep down. You don't know that deep down when you're there and you're hearing certain things get said. It's not right. I don't care if it's Christianity. I don't care if it's Islam. I don't care if you're in the Hebrew Israelite movement. I don't care if you're on the roads. So all of us that's warring on the roads, us black youths. Yeah? What are we warring for? I don't know if you've heard this said by many times, but seriously, what the fuck are we warring for, bro? You lot are jumping on bandwagons. Enough of you youths, like enough youths that I seen growing up in my ends were all good little youths, bro. And now all of a sudden they're the wickedest youths in the ends. Now, why? Because they feel they have to. I understand. I got caught in the roads as well. It's like a safety, it's like a family. And if we don't act in a certain way, someone's going to see us as weak. So you have to act in that way. We all have a warrior inside of us. We all have killer instinct. But the true real killers won't just go around killing people for no reason. The true real killers will keep that killing for the right time. And when we have to use them killer instinct and execute it, we won't have no regrets. And we won't be fear of any consequences either. Because it came from a truthful place. It didn't come from just, because I think I need to do this, or I'm showing off, or I want to live up to a name. Do you see what I'm saying? That's when people start to go mad. When you do things for them reasons, because you can't live with it after. When you do things and you know it's for a good reason, and you know in your heart, even though you might have took it a bit far, you might still have a feeling around the acts, because you know you have to live with what you've done now, regardless. But it's a different feeling when you do it from a soul deep driven place than just doing it because you're showing off, or because you've created a name and you want to continue to live up to the name. Because a lot of you lot who's out there, deep down in your hearts, don't want to keep living up to this name. You don't. But you don't know how to get out. Because it's a trap. It's all a trap. And really and truly, the ego, the full sense of self, is more interested, especially in us men I'm talking about here, is more interested in what other men think than women. So you're out there doing things because you've built a name, and because other men in your area and in other areas think you're this thing. So you're more interested in that, because your gal might be saying, yo, put it down. Or put it down, you know what I mean? Don't let your warrior down, but, you know, like, don't do things for just what you think you should be doing, what you think is right. But you will still do it because you're actually here to impress other men. That's what the ego's for. That's what when you're in that type of ego, the streets, the roads, it's all about impressing other men. Even when you watch most of these podcasts, it's just men impressing men. You see what I'm saying? That's what men are more interested in right now than impressing their female. Being humble, being a protector. But obviously, you don't want to do it for the wrong female. But that's where you got to be brave and sometimes take the chance, and then you will learn the lesson afterwards. We can't just keep on thinking we're going to get it right. A lot of the time we get it wrong. But there's no such thing as right and wrong. But what I mean by wrong is that you invest time and give a lot to something that was not for you. But you learn from it. Because all that is not for you either. But it's a bit more safe because everyone else is doing it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know and humble and realize time is short. We're not going to be here for long. And when you leave the body, you have to discover the living one. You have to discover the soul. You have to face your demons while you're in the physical body. That's the whole point of being here. This is like a college. This is like a university. This is a school. Yes, you can play around for a bit. We all do. But you have to step into your truth. You have to let that go after a while. You have to be brave enough to put that down and realize you're not what you think you are. Yeah? And if you keep on battling against that, you're going to start doing things and acting in a way, and you're not even going to realize what you're doing. and it's embarrassing, and it's shameful, and it will be the damnation of your soul in the end. And the more deeper you get into it, the more harder it is to get out. And in this time right now, the energy is so rife. The people at the top, there's a little set of people, not the police. They don't know nothing, okay? They are people of a low understanding, low knowing. Okay? They are robots. Same as the government, same as the judges, same as the school teachers, same as all the gatekeepers, social workers, all these people that work in these things. They are followers, and they just do what they're told. Now, if you go all the way to the top, there's a system. The way they've set the system up, because this has been in play for thousands of years. They've set the training up and the system up to enforce the ego, to keep the ego going. So when these lower ones are following these rules and they think it's right, they don't realize what they're doing, because it's subconscious. There's no difference between a gang member and a Fed. You're in the same energy. That's why they would always see each other on the road. The Feds would always clock the gangs, and the gangs would always clock the Feds, because they're in the same energy. Same like when you're on the roads and you will spot something. Yo, who's them youths over there? And it's usually other black youths that look like you. But when you see nerdy youths, or youths that's not on the roads or whatever, not about that life, yeah, you won't really see them like that. You look past them. But when you see other youths in the same energy as you recognize them from far. It's because you're in the same energy. Fake energy, force. But it's part of the journey. Don't kill yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Just be truthful to yourself. And just know you're being what you think you should be. Not what you know you should be. Because you know what you truly should be. You really know that deep down. But to follow that path, you have to jump into the abyss. You have to jump off the edge into the darkness without knowing where you're going to land. But you have to jump trusting and knowing that the Heavenly Mother and Father is guiding you and holding you. And the whole world will go against you, because you are expressing and living and holding on to something that they sacrificed a long time ago. Majority of the world sacrificed that the minute they stepped into reception. Even before that, it starts from in the womb, because our mothers, we're born to mothers who are in captivity. You see, we're born to a bondswoman. Speaks about it in the Bible. So when you're born to a bondswoman, you are already a captive in that belly, because all her thought process, all her emotions, everything that bothers her, everything that she gets stressed about, everything that she's worried about is all put into you. That's why the ones who are chosen to come here and break through that are chosen from the womb. Okay? We are set apart from the womb. Because certain things just can't get to our soul. I'm not saying we don't fall. I'm not saying we don't fall for the shit. I'm not saying we don't spend a part of our life running around in that false self. I'm not saying that we don't have to work that off for the rest of our life. Because once you're in the flesh, you're always limited. The flesh is weak. The flesh is always gonna, you might have a day where you're just feeling weak and you feel like you might compare yourself or wonder, wow, why have I been putting in all this work? Why ain't I up there? Why ain't I being heard? I'm doing this from my heart. But those are the days when you have to step back in to the soul. So everyone is left with them thoughts, the comparing and the wondering and the the flesh. So we are not the flesh, we are the soul, we are the spirit. Soul and spirit are two different things, by the way. The spirit is what lets you move around. Everything has a spirit here. Even a bug, insect, Everything has a spirit, but not everything contains a soul. Not all people have a soul. And the soul is the knowing of the unknown. When you know things and you don't know how you know it. And this is where the logical mind tries to come in and tries to figure it all out. We need to know how this works. We need to know how God works. We need to know how God manifested this whole reality and how God created this whole reality and created every being and created everything. We need to know in our mind. We need to logically know and write it down on paper. No. Sometimes you just have to be humble and say, you know what, I know that the higher force, the creator, will done it, but I don't know how. I know things within my heart, but I don't know how. I have answers to things and I don't know how, but I know it's true and no one can tell me that it ain't. That type of knowing, that type of trust of God. Do you trust God like that? All you religious people, do you trust God like that? Or are you more concerned about what your brother thinks? Or what the priest and the mom thinks? Or can you stand alone with the whole world against you? But you know, because you hear the voice. You get the signs. You get the messages. You get the downloads. You know, I am that I am. No one can tell me I ain't. Every fetus looks exactly the same at the beginning. Yeah? From the fish in the sea, from the animals, from the horse, from the birds, to us. Every race looks the same at the beginning until we start to grow. And then we change. So that will tell you there's one creator. And it's a feminine. The masculine is an aspect of the feminine energy. Because everything comes from a spiral. Everything spirals into reality. Not square. Where they got us living in these square rooms and square houses and square blocks. That's masculine energy. That's why we're tapped in. That's why you got to get out of these places. Squared off. Corners. Well, if it's not this, it's that. Bam, black and white. You see? But the feminine is... The hair spirals from the crown. Your fingerprints spiral. All of us have that, right? Yeah? We all have the spiral there, right? Okay. The flower spirals. The sun, the universe, the Milky Ways. DNA. When you see DNA, that really came from Kemet, Egypt. You ever seen the snake with the spiral going up, with the staff with the snake going around, spiraled around? Imhotep. That's where the scientists and them got the idea of DNA. And even when they research it now in their scientific systems and that, it comes up like that as a spiral. That's the feminine energy. The feminine energy is everywhere. It's all around. The masculine energy is direct. Boom, bam. I'm gonna come for you. I'm gonna come straight that way there. And certain time I might not even see what's coming from there and there because I'm just tunnel vision right there. But the feminine energy I gotta come for you in many different ways and destroy you and break it down in all different ways. That's why enough time us men, when we're with a woman that's on some fuckery, they can get to us after a while because they come in many different ways, mentally, physically, spiritually, verbally. Do you see what I'm saying? But the man's just gonna come with a physical thing. Might have a bit of words, but we're not really. That's why in an argument, like we're not really argument, like we're not really down with that. That's why it blows up a lot of the time, because we can't really handle that. The mental words and it's just bam, we usually get to the action. Not in the mental things too much. But nowadays, everyone's up on the mental thing. And right now, it is a psychological thing we have to get into now, because this is a psychological battle now. Subconscious. You see what I'm saying? Everyone thinks they're free, but they're not. We're still in captivity. Mental captivity. The worst slave is a slave who thinks he's free and he's not, or her. See me I deal with? So no better know. And stop wondering how you know. And stop trying to question and figure it all out. Just know. Step into your knowing. We all have the knowing. When you have that thought, not that logical, that thought that you want to, oh, I'm in a room with these people, I want to say what he thinks is right and what she thinks is what sounds good, so everyone laughs. No, that deep thought that you always think, fucking hell, I'm not going to say this, but I said, man, people are going to think I'm weird. That's really who you are. So tap into that. My dogs. Love.